Hello and welcome to Online Strategy Podcast. This is your host, Jason Wydrow, again with great friend and special guest, Devin Mortimer, dental consultant working with W3 Developing. So today what Devin and I are going to go over is how to calculate, formulate, and figure out the value of your advertising, marketing, and other actions that you're taking to generate new public for the practice. So these are very specific numbers we're going to get into. We're going to get into very specific tips and ideas and how things work in this area. And it's going to be a great benefit to you if you've ever had questions or ideas in this area but weren't quite sure about it. So we're gonna give you that data straight up today. I don't want to waste any time. I'm going to jump straight into the formula, the very conservative formula that we use on the marketing side of things. And then what we're going to do is Devin and I are going to have a discussion on the consulting side of things where the major value comes in. Devin's going to get into more details on that side of things, the internal workings of the practice and how generating that new public works more on that side and the value of that. So real quick, so I'm going to go down through A through E, very simple here. So we're going to just estimate the basic maintenance for a specific patient client is going to be, we could say annual maintenance about $250. Again, this is very conservative. This is not going to be the same for every practice. This is just a formula that we came up with to think with, on a very conservative number. So over 5 years, that's $1,250. So it's $250 a year, $1,250 over 5 years. So I'm going to go to B now. So we're going to say a major procedure every 5 years, estimated cost $2,250. Excuse me, $1,000. We're going to go even more conservative. That brings us to a total of $2,250 value. Going on to C. So over a 20-year period with those two basic formulas there, we wind up at about $9,000 in lifetime value for that specific client. Now let's assume that specific client refers 4 people over a 5-year period. So that's basically 1 person a year over that time. It's very simple to work out that each one of those referrals turns into that same original formula, which is $9,000. So we can estimate out that the potential value of one new qualified public, meaning a public that's going to be loyal to you, that you do great service for, that they're willing to refer for you. And we're only talking about one referral in that lifetime. Multiplied by 5, that takes us to about $45,000 lifetime value for one specific client that's loyal to you. So when you're doing your marketing and math and you're thinking about your estimated expenditures on your advertising, if you're doing website work, digital advertising work, Google work, Facebook work, whatever you're doing, you want to think about that expenditure, because if you're paying $1,000 a month, let's just hypothetically say you're paying $1,000 a month, and you're generating we'll just very conservative, you're generating one new qualified public a month, that's 12 in a year, okay? And again, we take that formula and we multiply that, and you can see the numbers are staggering and exponential. So don't ever devalue the value of a new qualified public for your practice. And I'm going to turn it over to Devin now, because he's going to get into more of the details of the internal workings of the practice, and some other points that we're going to kind of go back and forth on to even add more value in this area of what you should be looking at. Devin, over to you.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to address is the numbers definitely were conservative. If you are actually handling things properly and you have your practice optimized, each new patient on average should be worth closer to 1,000 that first year, when you break down everything from the small just cleanings all the way up to the very large procedures. So it does obviously depend what type of procedures you handle in practice, but it should actually be about 4 times that if you're optimized. But with a lot of consultants out there, they're not able to get that number quite as high, or some haven't worked with consultants, so the number's not quite so high. So keep that in mind as well. One thing that we've found is over the years, I've gotten some statistics about households, especially as it applies to referrals, because referrals are a really big part of any practice. And there's a specific referral program that I advocate that blows any other that I've seen out of the water. And we'll go over that more in depth in a future video. But when you hear referrals, if you've had a poor experience in the past doing some sort of referral program, generally almost every single practice, actually every single practice that I've ever seen and dealt with was doing a poor job with referrals. Meaning they either are getting none, putting nothing into it, so any referral comes in by happen chance. Just you do a great job and you've got a great patient who knows somebody, and then they send them in and you did nothing about it. Those are awesome. They're fantastic. And I know some practices are luckier in that arena than others, but there's actually a way that you can implement a referral program and take a little more charge over it. And I've seen a practice as much as triple within 6 months just off the referral program alone. It's really powerful when done right. So don't underestimate this. I'm sure, Jason, you've seen that as well with proper referral programs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's why, I say, and I keep saying that formula that I came up with, that our company came up with, and what we came up with based on studies, research, many years of surveys and information, it's very conservative, but I just lean on the more conservative side because it's just, I guess it's just playing it safe and looking at it at the bare minimum of an expectation, because you can think with the bare minimum, risk and all that. And if you're going to be investing marketing dollars, you want to make sure you're making your money back and then some above and beyond that. So, and there was another point we talked about earlier too, on the point of the household, because this is simple math. We both know the decision maker for most medical decisions is a mother. Now it depends on what city you're in, what state. Bigger cities, it varies on business cities and things like that. But generally it's the mother who's making the decision for the family, making the decision for the father, making the decision for the children. And Devin, we were just looking at this earlier, some demographic statistics, but between the US and Canada, the average household, it's 3 individuals, correct?
Yeah, I'll go over that. This is something, all these numbers, you want to keep in mind that these pay a really big part in your marketing dollars, because first thing I ever do with a new client is make sure that they're actually getting marketing, and digital marketing is in the forefront. Online marketing is just huge. You have to be doing it. And for each dollar that's spent, you obviously want to make 3, 4, 5, 10 times that amount back, right? Whatever it is. 10 is very high, but doable. But it's not, a lot of people think that it's just going to be the one for one. You market, you get one person in, and that's the result from the marketing, and that's not true. That's why I say referrals are important, because each person is worth that comes in, each new patient is worth up to 8 potential referrals. I'll say that again, up to 8 potential referrals. And how this works is the average, pretty similar, might be the same, but in the US, it's the average household is 3 people. Right. Whether it's husband, wife, child, or whatever it is. It can be any sorts of variation, but that's generally what it is. Mm-hmm. So you get one person in, one patient in, right? You automatically have 2 referrals in the same household that if you control that person, meaning start, change, stop, you're going to go in and kind of help direct them, give them a great experience, and help urge them to bring their family in to take care of their oral health as well. You can usually get those 2 very, very easily if you know how to do it correctly. So this was actually done by a big study. It was actually done in the banking industry to determine what the average household is. There was another study done, actually another large study, that found that each person in the US has an average of at least 2 people who will take referrals from them and take recommendations. So each one of those 3 is also worth another 2 potential referrals minimum, if not more. I can tell you from a real life example, when I find a good practitioner, you will get the rest of my family there too. Extended. You usually get 3, 4, 5 others along with me if you do a great job. It's how it goes. You just have to, what you really have to do is control that. So each person that walks through the door, you have to treat them like gold, because they're worth up to 8 people. So you can't look at it one for one dollar-wise from your marketing, because it's not just that one. If you control it correctly, you will actually get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus other people from each one that comes in.
Absolutely. And that makes perfect sense, and so much sense. And there's just so much potential. And, running a marketing agency that specializes with dentists, I run into this a lot where, and this is why W3 Developing is working with consultants like Devin now, is because we want to help our clients evolve and solve the problems that they run into with the influx of growth, with the management, with controlling everything, because that's a natural problem. Once those referrals start pouring in, once that marketing kicks in, everything can just expand really fast. And so it's a really delicate balance of proper marketing and expansion and doing all the steps correctly to really keep everything to the, stepping up and stepping up. Devin, before I forget, there was one other area. So the things we covered, just to jump back and recap real quick. So we covered the original formula that I went over. We covered the actual consultant formula, which is exponential compared to our very conservative marketing formula.
Absolutely.
And we can see staggering numbers and potential. The one thing that gets missed sometimes in the modern age right now, in the internet age, which we've been in for quite some time now, is the fact that websites like, review websites like Google, Yelp, Facebook, Health Grades, these types of places are utilized by younger families. Younger mothers will get a referral from a family member or a friend. And we've surveyed and studied this directly, so we have direct answers from mothers on this. They will go and look up and research on their own that practice. So taking a referral isn't exactly what it used to be before the internet came along and before all the major review sites came along. So that's why we put a lot of importance on building your review base, making sure those reviews are responded to, making sure that you're getting reviews in the correct places. Because there's even third-party companies that offer review systems, but little do you know till it's too late. If you don't want service with that company, sometimes you lose all those hundreds of reviews. So we make very specific recommendations on where to get reviews, where to work on them, how to deal with them, and also help boost your natural Google exposure by managing them correctly. So there's a lot of things in that. Again, we're going to be covering a lot of this in future videos. But so Devin, back over to you. So, just any last words you have on any tips or recommendations you would say about attaining referrals and building those referrals in the practice on the consultant side of things?
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the first things I approach as a consultant. And it really ties into what you do so closely. I make sure that they have a really good review presence, especially with Google, tons of other sites. Anything that places on the front page, you need to have a ton of reviews. You have to have a minimum of 100 is really what you should have, because if someone's researching you and you're going to have competition pop up when they Google for you. If you've got anyone who knows anything about marketing that's working at all with your competition, they search for you, your competition's going to come up as well. And if you only have a few reviews, I've seen way too many have only 3, 4, 5 Google reviews, or even 10 or 20 are good. But even if you have a high star ranking, you really need to have over 100 just to blow anyone else out of the water, because you need if they're fresh, they've never heard of you, they go, oh, look how many reviews they have and they're fantastic, I have to go there. You also need the same thing when you get a referral, because it's just going to solidify the referral in their mind, and then they won't look anywhere else. So it's hugely, hugely important. And I know I'm dragging on a little bit, but I'll wrap this up quickly. What you want to do to get those referrals is anyone that's happy or winning, as we say, or has a success in your practice, they come out happy with your service, then you want to see if you can get a success story or a testimonial real quick and have a sheet already ready at the checkout desk, and just say, oh, would you mind writing a success story real quick, or a quick testimonial? Okay, is it okay to print this or whatever? Or you can have, even better, you can have them go onto their phone and just ask them if they'll do a Google review right now. Oh, would you mind putting that in writing and get them on Google? And you can get 10, 15, 20 a week that way. And within a few weeks, you can be just blowing your competition away with the amount of reviews you have.
Absolutely. And we always recommend, what we normally recommend too is exactly what you were saying on the point of building up those Google reviews and those Facebook reviews, because, Facebook is a referral system in itself. There's thousands upon thousands and tens of thousands of individual city groups run by mothers and families that make recommendations, that talk about local services and promote. And someone goes in there. Does anyone know a good pediatric dentist? Does anyone know a good orthodontist? Does anyone know any area of the dental field? And you start, and mothers just start responding, or fathers just start responding, and family starts responding. And it's just it's a referral system in itself. So we want those reviews to back up any statements that are being said about you. We want those reviews to be parallel, to give you the correct representation that you should have. Because if you're delivering great service and your customers are happy, your clients and patients are happy, but you're not getting reviews, that just means you're not asking for them in most cases. Yeah. In most cases, you're not asking correctly, or you're not making it simple enough. That's what we find. So anyway, Devin, I think this is enough. We really covered quite a bit here. So yeah, for any dentists out there watching today, so you can go to w3developing.com/free, fill out your information. Devin and I will review it and get back to you and help you with any of the trouble areas you're having. We offer an absolutely no strings, 100% complimentary evaluation and analysis, from your online marketing to your internal practice areas. Anything that you're concerned about, we are there to answer and work with you about. And we offer that completely complimentary. So again, feel free. It's W3, it's a number 3, w3developing.com/free.
Mm-hmm. And we love to help, so utilize us.
Absolutely. Look forward to hearing from you. You have a great day, and thank you for listening.